about the program that you are going to play. What's the title, and can you say something about it?
It's the title is Ruins and Remains. It's a suite of approximately 10 parts, inspired by, or took as a source the ending of World War I, a century ago now. So, and I asked the Matangi Quartet and drummer I work with very often also in duo, Joost Lijbaart, because there was a sound I had in mind for this project.
What is the message that you got from the end of the First World War?
Well, yeah, I'm very interested in history, and it's very often said that's the beginning, that's the end of the old Europe and the beginning of the new Europe. And we call it a homage or a contemplation about the destructive side of man, but also its resilience to stand up. After World War I there was an enormous creative boost, and of course it was followed again by World War II. But so much happened in the period in between to that. So I found it very intriguing that rising from the ashes and creating, and the first ideas about a unified Europe came then. That's done with the wars, but it still took a while.
Mm-hmm. I think also important thing is that it's also about hope. So even though mankind can be destructive or just horrible, or very creative and very good, it gives us hope from that maybe both sides can come together and form something good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the music both, I try to really reflect those both sides, the really sad parts, but there's also more uplifting parts, minor versus major, more abstract, I guess, tonal music.
Yeah, and what do you think? What is it that brings out the good in man?
What is it that brings out the good in man? I think the will to survive. I think that's and to stand up each time.
Mm-hmm. But you could say also that the will to survive would bring out the worst, right?
Both, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all manner of surviving.
I think if you think about the good part in every human comes out when you experience something bad. So after the First World War, I think the people wanted to do something good and be creative and wanted something better for the world because something horrible happened. Mm-hmm. So most of the time, if something horrible happens after that, something good most of the time happens.
Mm-hmm.
And also trying to get rid of the past. So new music was coming, expressionism was coming in the arts. Mm-hmm. So they say, okay, these old things, we don't need them anymore, we have to start anew. And you see a lot of, very simple things occurring, like very basic art, very simple music, like Satie, and that's. I think that's also a very interesting aspect, actually, to start, not reinvent the wheel, but to really start again on a new base.
But what is your hope for mankind?
You start.
My hope for mankind, it's a big question. I think that it's a big question, maybe a small answer. Mm-hmm. Because I think the joy for every human being lies within the little things in life. So, I don't know, a nice flower or beautiful music, or maybe your family, the love of other people. So I think the big hope is in the little things.
Yeah, I agree. Finding balance also. Some nasty things will always occur during your life, but it's just about keeping the balance. I think that's, in a big sense, in war zones or where things are bad, but also in small, family life or whatever, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. So you already spoke a little bit about the program, but they're going to film the performance, so maybe you can say something about what we will hear.
If I recall call well, a very quiet part that kind of gets more intense and then explodes in a kind of a tutti, you know, where we actually all play the same, you know, almost rock-like rhythm. And then the ending of the program is actually the same as the beginning. We retake it, but in a bit different vein. We play the opening piece like in a movie. Very often we play the opening piece again, but a bit more quiet.
Yeah, as a conclusion.
As a conclusion, yeah.